just over a year ago, on October 31st, Halloween 2023, I released a video highlighting a game mode in another Netmarble game, 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, that applied a genius filtering process to PvP. And it was a new PvP game mode, or it was like a twist on an existing PvP game mode in that game, but it basically gave each character a cost, and the cost is related to the character's strength. And then they gave you the full team a full cost, and you had to construct a team based on the associated costs that you think would be best. And this team, in this case, in this example here, it's 4,700 cost out of 5,000. And I made a 17-minute rant video with the title 100% guarantee this would save the game, because PvP in this game boils down to who can figure out the most meta team as fast as possible, and then everyone just spams that team and you just get a big copy paste bonanza of the same team. And you can see that very easily, very quickly, when you just go into any PvP game mode and you search through the top teams. You're just going to see ad nauseum pretty much the same, 2 to 3 teams with slight variations, the same 5 or so characters. And now they finally did it. They actually listened, which is insane, and it's blowing my mind. This was on yesterday's live stream. The new PvP game mode. What is it called? Team Battle Arena, where you construct 5 teams, and those 5 teams will then battle against 5 other teams of the opponent that you battle. And you can't see the opponent's teams ahead of time. It's sort of like a surprise. You can also choose to hide one of your teams, again, as sort of like a surprise against the person you're fighting. And the best part is, that every character has a cost. So these costs associated with every character means that you can't just throw the strongest characters together on a team, because using their example, I believe the teams were, the teams cost 100 in this example here, and native tier 1 characters cost 25, and then from there it would go up, right? We don't know exactly what the cost would be for other characters, but presumably for native tier 2s or native tier 3s, the cost would be like 50, or the cost would be 75. So if you can't go over 100 and you can only form a team with the defined cost range, then that means you can't put together, like null plus another, right? If null costs 50, let's say, even if it's just 50, right? You're like, oh, if null's 50, you could put null and Gene on the same team. Actually, you can't do that, right? Because that's going to be 50 and 50, that's going to be 100. Then you have to find a character that costs 0. I guess then you have, I don't know who costs 0, right? If no character costs 0, if you can't just autofill the team and you can't leave an empty slot, then you wouldn't be able to put more than one native hero on your team. Just to put that into perspective for you guys, every single team I've showed you in Timeline Battle right now, and that's just one team of 3. Remember, you have to make 5 teams, right? But each one of these teams, they all violate that rule immediately, right? They all have multiple native heroes. This may be the only team that I've stumbled on that doesn't violate that. If Sentry costs 50 and Colossus and Nick cost 25, that's just a speculation. If Sentry costs 75, then it's even, it's even more invalidated, because you're pushing 200 points here. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am for this game mode, because you are going to see some truly unique teams here based on the costs. And the beautiful thing here is the devs do not have to, and this is what I highlighted in the video that I thought was so smart, and it's not my idea. I mean, maybe I want to take a little bit of credit. I feel kind of vindicated in a way that they listened to the idea to copy their other idea, and I just think like that's not novel in that sense. It's just that I feel like a lot of game developers are so scared these days to like kind of copy each other. They copy each other in other ways, in other very like blatant, obvious ways, but they're scared to copy like the good ideas, like the really good, really simple ideas, unless they get copyrighted like the Nemesis system. I hate you, Warner Brothers. You'll forever be in the doghouse for that one. But this was just such a good idea, and the people at 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross, I have to give them credit. And probably the Grand Cross players are going to be like, shut up, they're ruining the game. But this is such a good idea, because the devs don't have to keep up with the meta. This is the main thing with PvP, and Bacon agrees. Thank you, brother. not I was gonna say bacon agrees again. They don't have to keep up with the meta. That's the thing. Because what happens with PvP is the devs, in most games, right, PvP has to be regulated by restrictions and ban lists. So you have restrictions and ban lists like this. And hey, this one is actually pretty good this time because they banned Null, they banned Dr. Doom, not that anyone was using him. Oh, and they banned Captain America. Cool. And you have whatever recommended kills. But the devs have to keep track. The devs have to have someone, have to hire someone, have to whatever. Someone has to go and you know, keep up with the game. And you might say to yourself, well, Alex, they should all keep up with the game. But let's be honest, right? If your job is just to make the artwork for the characters, right? You're just making the art, the look. You don't really have to keep up with the game, right? You know, you'll find in game development that the majority of the people who make the game don't actually have to keep up with the meta of the game. Playing the game, understanding the game is a different thing than keeping up with the meta of the game. And not even the meta of the game, but the meta of specifically PvP. You basically have to play the game every day to keep up with the PvP meta. Like, I'm not even being sarcastic or exaggerating. You have to play almost every day to keep up with the PvP meta, because you can't just check in one day now and then and get an idea of it, because it changes. It changes every week. It changes when new characters come out that are better, and you're just not going to have... You'll have an idea, but you won't know if it's the right idea. You can't be confident, and you can't build a whole game mode around someone's idea of what is meta. Like, just their guess, their best guess, right? Even if the person is knowledgeable, you're leaving that decision up to one person, right? So then what are you going to do? You're going to hire a bunch of people to work on the ban lists? Again, now you're just kind of compounding the problem. So take the problem out of the players, out of the devs' hands. Put it in the players' hands. Make the player filter it themselves. This is genius. All they have to do from time to time, if they want, they don't even really have to do this, but from time to time, all they could do is they could change the cost. It doesn't matter if the character is meta or not. Just change the cost. Hey guys, for the next update, all of the shield characters, like all the not shield like Agents of Shield, but like all the characters with Cap's shield, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Sam Wilson, right? All of those characters, their cost is now 0. Make your teams. Go forth, my children. Make your teams, right? Hey guys, for the next week, all of the like Black Widow type characters, which I guess there's only 2. Black Widow and Yelena, they cost 0. Go, make your teams. And then people are like, oh shit, what can I do? Maybe like Null plus Black Widow plus, I don't know, right? Or something like that. You see what I mean? So all they have to do is change the costs now and then if they want to, and they completely change the idea of the game mode, and it just blows up from there, and the permutations are endless. You know, hey guys, all of the like Iron Armada characters, whatever it's called, the Armor Wars characters, if you put them together if you put at least 2 of them together on a team, you get you get bonus, like you get a savings, whatever. So now you can like combo. You can do Iron Man, like, whereas maybe before you couldn't afford to do, you know, Iron Man and Hulkbuster and Doom or War Machine, whatever. Now you can do all 3, and maybe together all 3 they're really good. You see what I'm saying? So this is so genius. This is so genius. You have 5 teams. So the way that I assume that it works out, some people were wondering like, oh, do all 5 teams fight at the same time? I think that because you have 5 teams and the other player has 5 teams that you queue up and battle against, it's basically going to take your first team versus their first team, your second team versus their second team. And maybe what you're allowed to do is you're allowed to maybe see their teams right before you battle, and then you can readjust the position of your teams. You can shuffle them around. And maybe that's why the hidden team matters, because if you see a bunch of like meta, like, okay, pretend all of these characters were meta for PvP that are not hidden, right? I know that most of them are not, but let's pretend all of them were meta for PvP. Then you'd looking at this hidden team and you'd be like, oh, the hidden team is probably like, who could be missing, right? Like, okay, obviously in this case, like Null and Sentry and Adam and stuff like that. But let's say that those guys weren't meta. You'd be like, oh, you know, who's missing? But then if you see someone's roster and there's no meta guys for PvP, you're like, okay, the meta guys must be here. So then I'm assuming that you can kind of make that judgment call and shuffle your teams around, and maybe you put your weakest team versus their kind of shadow team, their hidden team or whatever, right? I don't know how it works exactly. We'll have to see, but that's what I assume is kind of the case. And then you do 5 battles, and then it's like a best of 3. Right? That's how I assume it works. I don't think it's going to be an insane 25v25 like Kang Bang, where all 25 characters, or sorry, not 25, 30. Wow, math. All 30 characters just jump in at the same time. I don't think that's going to be the case, right? I think it's going to be 5 battles that go through kind of like timeline, or maybe like a conquest, right? It's either 1v1 3 times or a 3v3. It's maybe a 3v3 to make it faster, like conquest. And then whoever wins, you know, the most battles. I wonder if there's going to be draws as well, if there can be ties. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I think this is a really good system. I'm really excited to dive into it. I don't even care. Like, I didn't even notice that there were tokens and there were rewards. And don't get me wrong, the rewards for this game mode do seem compelling. Just like Otherworld Battle Shop and the Zombie Survival Shop of recent updates, we have a shop here where you exchange tokens with either weekly or monthly limits, and you can get tier 4 materials, you can get CTPs, you can get Odin's Blessings, and you can also get Team Up Collection chests. Now, it does not say where, sorry, it doesn't say how many tokens you get, but you can see here 300 extra Carbonadium and Soul of the Faltine, presuming that you can farm up enough tokens to buy out both of these. The monthly limit is 2, so it's actually 600 a month. So it has the exact same, exchange as Otherworld Battle, in the sense of you can farm an additional 600 of each per month. At this point, it should be easy enough to farm one tier 4 character every single month, with the fact that you get 600 here, you get another 600 from Otherworld Battle, that's 1200, and then you get, what is it, 300 per week from Zombie Survival, so that's another 1200 as well there. So you're getting like 2500 or 2400, excuse me, 2400 tier 4 materials without even touching World Boss and GBR, which is almost halfway to a tier 4. So that's fantastic. And then, yeah, for people who don't care about tier 4 materials, you got CTPs, whatever. Again, this is the big question mark. Well, the big question mark is, one, how many tokens do you get? Like, how fast do you farm tokens? And then the other one is the token chest. Different kind of token. But this is a Team Up Collection token chest, because this is a brand new reward that we don't have in any of the shops. It's only available through like the monthly token exchanges, and you usually have to like sacrifice a P card or sacrifice something else. There are also crystal rewards, you can see here, just like Timeline Battle. So I think the rewards are fantastic. I think the rewards are going to be compelling for players, absolutely, but I'm mostly interested in the gameplay. I think the gameplay is going to be novel. I think it's going to be fun. Do I think that players are going to still try to copy teams based on what they see works the most? Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that is. But the difference here, even though there will always be kind of like a race to the bottom where people are just trying to copy the most effective teams, and you will see overlap. The thing here is there's a lot of characters, right? And the chances of you having the exact same roster as someone else are going to be slim, because there's just so many tier 4s now, and there's a lot of like niche tier 4s, like not a lot of players, for example, tier 4 like Daredevil and Punisher, but maybe they're going to be good enough for this game mode with the restrictions and with the costs that you're going to want to use them, right? So it actually raises the value of these lesser characters, because you can't necessarily afford to put Sentry on one team, Null on another team, Atom on another team, Wolverine on another team, right? Maybe that's not possible, right? Or because of bans or whatever, criteria. And so you're going to have to dig deeper. And when you dig deeper, that's when you're going to get more overall, diversity of characters and of rosters and of teams. So I'm not really worried about that everyone's just going to copy the exact same teams. And even if they do, you still have possible shuffle mechanics, and you still have the hidden team mechanics. So there is still some novelty to it, right? So I'm really excited for this game mode. I cannot believe that they listened to us. I think that's crazy. This video got 20,000 views, and big shout out to you guys in the comments and kind of watching the video and hitting them up on social media and stuff like that. This is crazy. I think it's a huge testament to what the community can do. And not to sound too corny, but we've been doing this for years, right? We did it with some successful boycotts. We had some unsuccessful boycotts, but we did it with some successful boycotts. We did it with, asking for specific things, like rallying all the way, 8 years ago for the X-Men to come to the game, for Deadpool to come to the game. He got an epic quest. So I just see this as like a continuation of that. We wanted like a zombies game mode. We got it. there's very few things that players have asked for en masse that have not been responded to by the devs. So yeah, this is one of the reasons why I'll always support this game. And I hope that players like it, and I hope it's fun, because I can't wait to jump in next week and test out this game mode and try this out. Anyways, I wanted to hit you guys up with that. You know, big shout out to the devs for listening to the community. It means a lot to us, I think. I hope. I mean, it does in my opinion, but yeah, we'll see. You guys sound off in the comments below and say, yeah, if it matters to you. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching the video. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.